Yeah, let's
Cool,
go.
cool, cool. Hey guys, my name is Anthony and welcome to the news of Oceania Football. Today with me, I've got such a very, very special guest with me. Would you love to introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, hi there, everyone. My name's Jesseedge, 26 years old. I'm a New Zealand international football player, and I'm currently playing professional over here in Sweden. And yeah, I've been over here for 6, 7 years in Europe, traveling, playing around in loads of different countries, and having some pretty cool experiences along the way.
No, that's good, that's good. Thank you again for doing this. My first question is that, how did you get into football, basically?
My family's always been a very important part of my life, and they are heavily involved in football. My grandfather, Eddie Edge, he was the coach of the national team in New Zealand.
Mm-hmm.
And then my uncle also, most successful, youth coach, producing players in New Zealand.
Yeah.
So those were two very influential people in my youth football career, and I guess I didn't really have too much of a choice, really. I was kind of thrown into it at a really young age, and I just loved it, and I still have that passion today. I just really enjoy the game, and yeah, my family's heavily involved in it, so it all began because of that, really.
Okay. And could you tell, like, what is your position and your playing style?
I'm a defensive midfield player or a centre back. I consider myself as a very hardworking player. Make the tackles, come in and try to break up the play. And also, my passing range is very good on both feet. So I'm very right and left footed.
Yeah.
And I like to build up play from the back as well, coming from my uncle's academy, Declan Edge.
Yeah.
Technique is the most important thing there, and learning how to play the game. But then also, the knowledge of the game as well is very important to me. I like to read shapes and positions on the field and be a leader in that as well, and helping speak and, helping other players and young players as well coming into the professional game too, and that. So I like to be almost like a second coach on the field, if you can say that. And, I love to build up play from the back and, play nice football. And then also when it's time, to also, go win the ball and go get in tackles and be quite commanding on the field as well of ourselves.
I have seen like clips of you, and like you're very composed, but also like you always got a smile on your face, and I think that should be more with players, like just enjoying themselves, but also serious at the same time as well. So you're very composed, and I'm saying that, how do you be so composed in a very tense match?
That comes down to about the mentality of football, really. I think it comes down to, when you're on the field, you really have to believe that, you're going to beat that player, that your direct opponent. You got to have the confidence to be able to play. That's the big thing that I always say. Have the confidence, dare to play football. If you're in really tight situations under high pressure in a big stadium with lots of people there, you have to believe in yourself, and all the work that you've done comes down to that confidence aspect, so it's kind of twofold, the work and then also the mentality, because the work creates that mentality, but then you also have to work on that mentality yourself as well. But it's, it's a confidence thing, you have to believe in yourself, and to come so far in the game, that's what's required, really.
Yeah. Okay, and next one is, like, could you talk about your club career? Because I have seen your career you played at, the clubs you played at, and you travelled a lot. So could you explain, explain like your career is like?
Yeah, sorry if I skip any parts, because you're right. If you have a look at my profile, I've played at quite a few clubs, especially in Europe. But it kind of all began basically in Hamilton in New Zealand. So I started there through Declan's academy, attached with Melville United at the time, and also with Waikato. So I started there and, did my time. We moved down to Olay in Wellington. with a big group of us players. Then my first opportunity came over in Italy, actually. So after the Under-20s World Cup 2013 in Turkey, an agent reached out to me and said, look, there's this club in the third tier in Italy that's keen on to see you train and, come on trial basically for a week. So I just grabbed the opportunity and just flew over from New Zealand with no promises of signing a contract. So it's a pretty big thing, really. And, I'm really grateful and glad to say, I was the first New Zealand player to sign a professional contract in Italy at the first team. And, there's obviously Kakachi now who's playing in the Serie A, so that's awesome, really awesome to see that, there's a little breakthrough in Italy. And, Italy as a country is really close to my heart. It gave me my first opportunity to play professional football in a very good league with some very good players. And now I even have an Italian girlfriend now, so that shows. So that was my first professional deal over there. Then my contract ran out, so I was looking for other options. And I hadn't played that many games in Italy that last year I was there. I was there for 2.5 years. So I was looking for an opportunity to play football again. So I moved back to the New Zealand Giants, Auckland City. Ramon Treboulier reached out to me and gave me an opportunity there. Obviously, they're involved in the Oceania Champions League, and with all their success through that and the New Zealand Premiership as well, they're also going to the Club World Cup that year. So, it was a very interesting move for me to move back to New Zealand, which is, again, a long way from Europe. And, I had a really fantastic time there. Great bunch of lads, great club. And also, I thought Ramon was a fantastic coach as well. So I learned a lot from him and started to get some games going again, because my dream was always to go play football in Europe. That's always been my mentality, is to come over here where football is. And, I got the opportunity to come on a trial in Holland in the Dutch second tier. And I moved to Achilles 29, which at the time were having some problems in the league. So they were bringing in a lot of new players. And I moved there. They ended up giving me a contract. After 6 months, I was also the captain of the team, so it was a really, really nice opportunity in Holland. And that was a little goal checked off my list about what I wanted to achieve in my career, is to be a captain of a team. After that, I got a move to the top league in Slovakia. So I went over there and played 2 years with some loan moves in between in the Slovakian leagues, which was a great opportunity to go play in the highest league, in the European league, and, fight for... My club was fighting for relegation, so that was a very interesting time. But then obviously there's Champions League and Europa League spots as well from the Slovakian top tier too. So it was very interesting, and to, again, play in a really nice league in Europe. After that, COVID kind of hit. So it was a bit of a difficult time, really. The owner's business, got really hit hard with COVID. So he ended up having to release about 10, 11 players from my club, like the highest earners. And, I was amongst one of those 10. So unfortunately, my contract got cancelled, and I was without a club for about 6 months. So that gave me a little bit of time to reflect. And, my passion for the game was there from day one, and it was always there, never burnt out. And I just really, really wanted to play games again. So that was the main thing on my mind. And a scout who I've been working with, Tony Mikiewicz, I contacted him, I just need to play some games. I really need a place to play some games. And Sweden was one of the only countries open still playing games because of the coronavirus lockdowns. So I came over to a team that was struggling in the third tier, to be honest. Again, a relegation battle. I came in with another New Zealander, actually, Matt Conroy. So that was a really nice experience to link up with him and see how he's doing. And, we had a pretty good second half of the year. Unfortunately, we couldn't save the league. So the club went down. I also went down with them. So I was a little bit stuck in that position because I didn't really want to play in a league that low the last year. But again, just racked up a lot of games, started building experience, and then came across Game Insight, which is the company I'm also working with on the side now. And, to get this opportunity was really amazing, and it's completely involved in football as well. So I'm really, really happy with it as well. They offered me also a full-time position the year after, which is now this year, to come work in the office. So I finished up my time at my first club in Sweden, Beria, and I was then moving to Malmo, which is on the west coast. So then again, it was like, I have to go fix a club. I got to go find a club to go play at a good level again. So I've been on trial at a team called Lunds BK, which is a very good team in the third tier. And they're working on some very interesting things. They're building a very strong team for this year and employing a new coach who, I've been working with the last few weeks now, which has been really, really great. And they actually offered me a contract about 4 or 5 days ago now. So I've fixed that situation, and I have another good platform to be able to show my ability and to, make some good steps again in the game. And Lunds BK is a very good opportunity for me to go and do that.
Okay, wow. Like, you've been traveling a lot, like experiencing different cultures, different countries, like. But I think it's a good thing because you're just basically improving the game. You're learning as well. Do you feel like you're still learning? You're still learning in football?
Oh, absolutely. In football and in life, right? Because football and life is really the same. So, in terms of experiencing different cultures, the football styles, the training methods, like, absolutely. And that's been really so good. And then also in the life with the different languages and different cultures and different people and making new friends around the world, like, the amount of knowledge and everything that you gain there is unbelievable, I have to say. It's really unbelievable. And of course there's ups and downs in that too when you go without a club, and it's always difficult to find new options and things like that. But now I just have that confidence and belief that no matter what happens, like, everything will be okay. Everything will be sorted out in the end. And I have to say that's probably been the most successful part of my career, is that I'm still in Europe playing professional football, like, for the last 7 years. To be over here and to stay here, I think is the toughest thing. There's so many players, that's no disrespect because I know how tough it is, and like, it's a long way from home, but a lot of players come over to Europe and to the UK from New Zealand, Australia, the islands. They spend 1 or 2 years, and then they go without a club, and then they head back again and go play back in New Zealand, which I had to do that too at a time when I first moved to Auckland City. But then it was always to come back here and be able to stay here. I think that's the biggest achievement, I think, I must say.
Yeah, like, even now I can hear your accent. Like, you're speaking more Swedish now. Like, that's what you.
I hope not, man.
But like, in seriousness, like, when I review it, like, your profile is true. Like, there's no New Zealander like really stayed in Europe and played like a very long jeopardy of it. That's why you've been successful, like, doing it, like, every year, like, playing in Europe. And that's one thing you have to give credit to yourself.
And I would say as well, added on to that, especially in the lower tiers, because obviously the top 1% of footballers are making a lot of money, you know. So there's players up the top in the leagues, so they're comfortable and things like that with that. But obviously there's the other mentality things and being away from home and family and friends and things like that, which is definitely an aspect there. So we're sharing that same journey. But even financially, to be able to stay here has been an absolute journey, man.
No, but it's just good, like, to see someone from New Zealand and they're really making a crack in Europe. Even if it's from the low end, they're taking their time, taking them steps, because you never know what's going to happen. They might get, like, if they have a good season, they might get, like, one big offer and they play the top flight. And it just determines on the hard work.
Yeah, hard work definitely comes into it. Like, that's a given. But then there's also, things about patience and things like you gotta take your time. It takes a little time to build your profile. Like, for players coming over from the area that I'm from, like, you'll play in the under-17s, under-20s World Cup, even the full national team. But when you're coming over to clubs in Europe, for example, you're competing for a spot with someone who's done his whole youth career at Manchester United. Like, you're starting from zero, and that's something that I think players from where I'm from don't really conceptualize or really understand because of that success from a young age in New Zealand. And it is a little bit of a bubble there. So when you come out of that bubble and experience like, oh, damn, like the football world's big, like there's a lot of good players, you've got to really take some time, meet the right people, and you got to really love it as well. That's for sure. You got to really love the game and enjoy that grind, not in just the game, but also in the life aspect of it as well.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Also, the next one is that how is like New Zealand football is like? What is it like, the style of play? Because you did play in there. So how's it like, really? Like, people don't know.
In New Zealand, the game is definitely slower, I must say. It's semi-professional there, so you do have players earning ranges of salaries. But there's a very strong philosophy on technique and also position, I must say now. I would say that's heavily influenced from Ramon's success with Auckland City and also, Declan Edge's academy as well. I think those two had a very big impact in that high possession, Spanish-based kind of style, building up play slowly, picking up your moments and really keeping control of the ball, which means, you also have to have players who are technically have that ability to be able to go and do that as well. So it's good to see a lot of young New Zealand players coming out now and going to play in some really big, nice teams around Europe. Obviously Ryan Thomas at PSV, Tyler Boyd at Besiktas in Turkey. So, like, you are seeing some technically good football players coming out of New Zealand now because of that style and philosophies that it's been implemented into the system there.
Okay, that's good. And could you tell, like, about your project? Because I see, like, you're working with a company and now you're working with different clubs as well. So could you tell about this project, what people don't know about?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm working for this company called Game Insight. So we're an online digital platform. And, we help clubs with saving and storing information, sharing that throughout their whole organization with education, communication, and also a load of tools that clubs can use to build sessions and exercises and things like that. And having all those kind of processes that a club uses on a day-to-day basis all in one space. So, like, our whole company, like, our motto is for footballers, by footballers. So, our whole company has, like, players, coaches, club CEOs on different levels in the women's and men's game. So, we know what kind of clubs and coaches and players want. So we're trying to build, we have built a platform that, really helps clean up organizations and saves people a lot of time to put back out onto the grass and spend, time doing what we all love most, right? So, we're basically taking over Sweden at the moment, to be honest. We've signed the top 2 professional leagues in Sweden, which is AIK, Hammarby, all the biggest teams here. We have a little team in the United States as well. We just came back from the United Soccer Coaches Convention, which is really awesome in Kansas. And, me personally, I would love to bring this to New Zealand, Australia, and to the island nations too, because, like, I really believe giving back a little to, where I've kind of come from and that gave me so much, and the opportunities that they can gain with a platform like this to also connect to the rest of the world in football as well. So we're kind of making a social media aspect as well to the platform that they can go link in with, hey, what's Hammarby under 16s doing, and go and have a direct contact with them and go see their sessions and exercises and have a bit of a relationship there and democratizing the game a little bit. So that's really my goal, is to kind of bring this to, the Oceania and Australasian region, because, that's where I'm from, and I want to see the most growth happen, because I really believe football's coming along in these regions, and it's a really great opportunity for, for them and for us to be able to connect with each other and from across the world,
Yeah. Okay, that's brilliant, and that's brilliant, because I do see it like every time there's always a partnership with a club and another club, like each continent.
Yeah.
Like, are you also spreading like around like in Asia or other country like Africa? Is that like your next targets, basically?
Well, absolutely. So, we're trying to democratize the game, which means we're trying to bring the whole of world football together. Okay. So, absolutely, through Asia, through Africa, we haven't so much touched there as of right yet. But, with the States, with New Zealand, Australia, the island nations, we're trying to bring all of those people together onto one platform that, that we can be of service to them and help them with their philosophy. And we're really trying to be in partnership with people and being of service to the game, game, and trying to improve it. And I love meeting all the really cool people involved in football, and learning different organizations and the way that they work. And it's really great fun on a personal level as well to conduct interviews and have meetings with people in the highest level of the sport and biggest coaches. A big one for us as an investor in our company is Sven-Goran Eriksson.
Oh, wow.
So I had the opportunity to hold a podcast and meet with him, and he works with us. So it's a really, really cool experience. And we have actually another one, a really big interview coming up, which I can't mention yet, but will be for all you guys to see.
Oh, no, that's good. That's brilliant. You're making a change, especially like you're so important to make a change in Oceania, and I think that's what Oceania needs like something different, need a change, and is that like now the proper proving point? We need to change that for Oceania.
Well, instead of maybe the word change, I would add the word maybe structure to it. Because, there's some really great people throughout the region of Oceania, New Zealand, Australia, really, really great people that have really good philosophies and ideas. But can we add a little bit of structure to that in their workflow as well? So that's the idea that, I'm trying to get in contact with people and clubs throughout the region, and to hold meetings with them and to see their kind of processes and flows within their workspace of football. So are we able to come in and help them clean up those processes, have that all really clear to view, and be able to share and store information in one place so that's never lost, and to clean that all up for them and adding some good structure there so that, the knowledge is never lost. It's all in one place, and they can bring that out onto the field with them, whether that's printed on a piece of paper or on an iPad, on a phone. We're really working on something cool here with that sense, and trying to bring some structure into some organizations that I would say desperately need it.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, and the next one is like to go back into football, like the mentality side of the game. Like you said, like you've been out with a club like 6 months before. Is it difficult to get back in football when you've been without a club so many months?
Absolutely. I would say when coming into clubs and speaking with sports directors and agents and things like that, the most important thing is on your profile, what has he done in the last 6 months? It doesn't matter 3-4 years ago. What has he done in the last 6 months? So the ability to go and get those opportunities is difficult, In terms of the mentality side of things, that was never a shadow of a doubt in my mind that that's what I was going to do. I've always played football for my life, all of my life. And, times do get tough sometimes, but I think it's kind of where I've come through with Declan and, all their ideas and things like that. And that's never a doubt that I'm going to go and find the best option and going to keep grinding to go find that. It's never an option to quit, basically, for all the young players out there as well. If you're within the right environment and doing the right things and have the right mentality, talent doesn't even come into play at all. That maybe can dictate on which level you play at, but to play professional football is not difficult. You just got to not quit.
Yeah, that's true. No, that's definitely true. And the next one is that, are you still in contact with New Zealand, with the national team? Are you still in contact?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm still in contact with, first of all the players. They're really, really top friends of mine. So I always reach out to them, and, through social media and everything, it makes everything easy now, and FaceTime and things like that, of course. So first of all, I'm really in touch with them. And I do have a relationship with the coach of New Zealand football as well. So, there's some contact there. Obviously, to be considered to go back in the New Zealand national team, a few steps have to be made in terms of my club playing career at this level. But with Lunds BK, it's a very good opportunity. The club is going places. There's a little magic in the air. There's some really great people involved in the organization, and people behind just the playing and the staff, the background staff and things like that. It's a really exciting place to be a part of, so a little bit, watch this space.
Yeah, definitely. No, I'm definitely what. And last one is that, what is your ambitions and goals basically for yourself?
My ambitions and goals have never slipped. I still want to be the best person I can be, and that's in football included. I want to be the best player I can be, and, that's also a part of why I've chosen to come to Lunds, because it's a very good training environment. I want to keep improving as a player and keep onto the coaches. Can you help me do my extra stuff? What can I improve on? What's going well? So it's a really good environment to be a part of self-improvement. I love to learn, and, so being able to be speaking with the coach Juicy and also the assistant Thierry, they're very knowledgeable in the game, so they can really help me and push me along that journey. And in saying that, of course, I still want to be playing at the highest levels in Europe and be a part of the New Zealand national team. But that's a result of everything that comes today, so living life quite in presence and focusing on day to day. What can I do today to be better tomorrow that can help me improve the next day? And all those things are the result of what's happening on that day to day process. So that's my mentality right now. I would love to be at that place, but there's a few steps along the way.
Yeah. No, but even looking at your profile as well, there's no doubt, even watching clips, there's no doubt you will make it to the top level one day. Because I can see it, and I think you're too good of a player to be playing at the low level. You should be playing at the top level. That's in my opinion.
Well, that's the thing about football, especially in Europe. It's such a competitive market, and there are some really, really good players out there, that's for sure, and it's, you have to make friends and know the right people and things, but the top level as well, that's a definition too. My dream was to play professional football in Europe, and I'm still able to do that. So I'm really content in that too. And like I said, all those other things and goals in the future are all a result of, where you're at. And, if those opportunities come, brilliant. But if I'm still at this level in a few years, also, I'm really content and working on the best that I can be. That's the only thing that I can really control.
Okay, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. But thank you again for taking your time out your very busy schedule to do this interview.
Hey, no problem at all. Thank you very much.
No, thank you. And you definitely will make it top level. I just fingers crossed. I want to see you at the top level. That's it.
Thank you very much. It'll be really nice to hear from you again, and we'll definitely stay in touch as we do.
Thank you again for the interview again.
Hey, thank you, man. No problem at all.
All right, take care of yourself, yeah?
Yeah, you too.
All right, okay. See you, okay?
Bye.